It is so refreshing to drive the bakkie that actually reignited my love for bakkies. So a couple of years ago, I think about 2 or 3 years ago, one of my first stint in a bakkie was in a Nissan Navara Pro 2X. I loved it. I just didn't like how it controls on the road for a number of reasons. And I do believe that those number of reasons have actually been addressed in this. This is the Pro 4X Warrior. I want to take you through exactly what has changed, and we're actually going to chat about something that has actually been on my chest for a while now. Bakkie segments in South Africa has actually been inundated with a lot of manufacturers coming in, a lot of already established manufacturers that have been revamping their products and their offerings, newer brands from China, for example, older brands that have been revived again, like LDV. And I'm actually going to take you through a timeline of my favorite bakkies and why I'm saying those are my favorite bakkies. So buckle up. It is going to be a bit of a long one. For now, let's take a look at the Pro 4X Warrior.
The Warrior is a flagship model that is set to take on the likes of the Toyota 2.8 GD6 4x4, the Isuzu D-Max V-Cross, not even the AT35, though there is some potential there, and the Ford Ranger Raptor, though I definitely reckon that you will get more travel range in the Warrior, respectfully of course. In terms of the exterior design, the Warrior sees a front grille blacked out with red Nissan badging embedded front and center. There are black finishes like on the door handles, the black mirror caps, the black roof rails, and even the black side step has a bit of red accents that feels a lot solid. The front bumper also sees a bit of a nip and tuck for an improved approach of angle of 35 degrees as opposed to roughly 33 degrees on a standard Navara. There's also a front skid plate with red detailing and underbody enhancements. The Warrior also sees an upgrade in 17-inch all-terrain Maxxis wheels with a wider wheel track that are built to take you anywhere and everywhere. Ultimately, the Navara Warrior has been built for the adventure soul in mind. The rugged design of the car coupled with an upgrade in suspension that sees the Warrior getting a ground clearance of 221 millimeters, a 5-link coil spring setup, double wishbone suspension in the front, also sees a good balance of off-road capability and on-road comfort.
Oh my gosh, this thing is capable off-road. So nice being in a bakkie. Like, I know a lot of guys, I genuinely enjoy being in a bakkie, and for obvious reasons, right? I grew up in a family where my first stint at a car in the family was a bakkie. In fact, it was a Toyota Hilux. And to be honest, that Hilux pushed us as a family. We used to use it for all kinds of things. And I saw my old man driving that thing on gravel road at 100 kilometers an hour, and that's when I understood that, there are some cars that are meant to go everywhere, and then there's a bakkie, especially Hilux. And now, growing up later on, got exposed to other brands as well. Like I said, the hard body for me was, especially the 3-liter V6. For me, it was a great compromise. South African product, or rather, a product that has been built in South Africa over the past couple of years. There's the Roslyn plant where Nissan basically established itself, and I had great hopes for it. Now, there might be a conversation around the fact that when it comes to the Warrior, nothing really changed outside of the suspension that has been beefed up, the exterior that has been cleaned up, and that has actually made the Navara more off-road worthiness. Like, you don't feel like you're gonna like you don't feel like you're going to be stressed out if something scratches your body panels, because now you've got those plastic body panels, especially around the wheel arches, and you've got the steel step that, you know, essentially will support you when you're coming in and out of the car. And I genuinely feel like this is what Nissan should have cooked for the Navara about 2 years back. I think we're getting more and more people actually buying into bakkies and actually taking them, you know, exploring, because that's what bakkies are built for. That's what they're meant for. They are meant for going off-road, and they're meant for going off the beaten track. I genuinely don't have any complaints when it comes to the Navara. The Navara drives great. I think when I compare it to the Ranger that I had a couple of months ago, although the Ranger had a bigger engine, this actually drives like a bakkie. It's not stiff, it's not soft. You don't feel like you're bouncing around all the time, everywhere. It's very poised, it sticks to the road, and I feel like you can actually trust it. You know, it's very easy also to control. Now, you can see I'm going through a very, very bumpy road, right? In the Ranger, I actually drove through this very road, and I could feel the bumps a lot more than I am in the LDV T60 Max. That has a softer suspension compared to this, and I think that's one of my gripes with the T60 Max, outside of the fuel consumption. Outside of that, it's also another beautiful product. The suspension on it is quite soft. V-Cross went through the same road. I do genuinely feel like the V-Cross's suspension is just a smidgen stiffer than what you have in the Navara. Yeah, I think those are the 4 bakkies that I've actually driven up and down this road, and also taken them to the very same spot where I just shot this car right now. It's worth noting that bakkies, when it comes to bakkies in South Africa, people who buy bakkies, they actually buy them to use them for what they're worth and what they're used for, what they're meant for. So you can't really tell somebody that no, they'll just have to stick to being a lifestyle bakkie, because that's not how it's going to work. We're living in South Africa where people generally work within urban areas, and then they still have family who live emakhayeni, you know, ezlaleni, and those roads are neither here nor there. Like sometimes, you know, like somebody might just spring up a road just now, there's no proper paving or tar that has been laid out, so you have to be very considerate of that. So people who actually buy bakkies, they buy bakkies to actually use them for what they're genuinely worth, you know. So for me personally, I do feel like this Navara Warrior is a great product. Just not sure about the price. Yeah, I think the price is a bit debatable. But also the timing of it, I do feel like this should have been a product that Nissan launched not now, but a few years back, because then it would have made a real statement. Yeah, so that's me on that, the Pro 4X Warrior. I really hope that you guys actually like. You know, I'm very experimental with my reviews now. I'm also getting into long format stuff, so please like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. I'm definitely going to be cooking a couple of extra stuff in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, until next time.